Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Round the Horn. The music you hear in the background is by our special guest today, multi-talented Ray Andersen. Hello, Ray. How are you?
Hello, my friend. I'm great. How are you?
Oh, things are okay, I guess.
Yeah.
Could be better, could be worse.
Yeah. Okay, I'm not doing great. I'm okay.
Yeah. Let's admit the truth.
Yeah.
Let's fill in everybody that's watching who you actually are musically, and then we'll get into some baseball talk as well. Little background.
Let's go way back. Oh my God.
Back when we first met.
Yeah, those were the Stone Pony days, weren't they?
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. I was in a band called Cats, and you were the guy behind the sound booth, just spinning the great tunes. You're actually spinning then, weren't you? Real
good. When we first started, it was all records. Yeah.
Good old vinyl. Good old vinyl. Yeah. Yeah, man. I was in that band most of the 80s, Cats on a Smooth Surface. That's really where I learned to be a musician. That's where that's where I really grew up. I was in a band before that, couple bands, but that's when I really honed in on my musicianship with amazing players, like Glenn Burtnick, Bobby Bandiera, and all those amazing guys. So, and then all the guests and some guy with first name Bruce or something like that. Anyway, somebody like that. So yeah, that's that. I always tell people I never went to college. The Stone Pony was my university, and it's true. I went right from high school to clubs, and the Pony was it for me. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And what'd you do after Cats?
After Cats, when was that, like 90-ish, something like that. I was in a band with my ex-wife, Patty Maloney, as Blue Van Gogh. We toured Germany with Matchbox 20. We charted in Germany. We were a duo. We had a band around us of amazing musicians. That was a great experience. And then one day, Patty said, come on in and sing for these kids at my daycare that I'm working at. They're bouncing off the walls. And I went in and I sang, I'm a Beatles geek, Here Comes the Sun or Yellow Submarine. And the director said, hey, I have a job for you. Would you like to come in part-time and start singing to my kids? I will pay you. And I was like, wow. And I always had this affinity for children and old folks. I just had this rapport. And it was like hand in glove, Lee. It was, I started writing songs and I never looked back. And that was 1994, 26 years ago this year, something like that. So
that was the birth of Mr. Ray.
Yeah, right. That's the kids started calling me Mr. Ray. And I was like, I don't want to be Mr. Ray. I don't want a Mr. in front of my name. I'm not a teacher because I don't read music and stuff, but come on. If the kids called you that, I was like, okay, I'm Mr. Ray. And then a few years into doing that, I got a call to join Meatloaf, his touring band. And I toured most of Europe with Meatloaf for about three years there. Amazing experience. I was utility guy, just like in baseball. A little bit of this, that. Yeah. Keyboards, guitar, backing vocals. Just surrounded by musicians that were, once again, better than me. And that's how you become a better baseball player. Or, you soak up other people, you become a team player, and that's what it was all about, yeah. So.
Well, Meatloaf had quite a reputation as a softball pitcher, I heard.
Exactly. Yeah. No, we used to talk, he's a fellow Yankee fanatic. We used to talk Yankees baseball all the time over in Europe, 98. Come on. 1998 Yankee season. I got goosebumps just thinking about it. I do. I really do. So we would watch it from Europe, me and Meat. Yeah, good stuff. Yeah, he loves baseball. Mm-hmm.
So what are you doing now? There's a project that you have out currently.
I did this song called We Will Shine. Really, it's gratitude for frontline workers, doctors and nurses, police, EMT, everybody, firefighters, just all those folks in the front lines, just to thank them. It came out in April, and like over 40 people I asked to sing on the choruses, and just they donated their time singing into iPhones or, home studios, whatever. I made it all work, and I'm so grateful to them, including my daughter. I won't say she has the talent of your Stella, but and your daughter's on it. Thank you very much, Stella.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's great. I'm a fan of hers, by the way, of course. So yeah, man, it's so that's out there. I made a lyric video for it. And yeah, I'm doing virtual gigs as Mr. Ray, some grown-up virtual gigs, but basically schools. I'm doing like 200 little squares on my iMac. It's not the same, but it's okay. I have to embrace. Yeah, I bought a green screen. Oh, you can't see it now.
Yeah.
Green screen and all these things. Oh my gosh, it's so dauntingly.
All right, let's get to baseball. Did you play in Little League or high school or anything?
I did. I was in Little League. I grew up in West Orange. I think the Bisons was our name in West Orange. My dad was a major baseball fan, so I got it from him. We'd go to Yankee games together, and yeah, some of my first memories might just having catch with my dad, and rest in peace, man. It was just baseball is a part of my DNA.
Yeah, I was kind of lucky. The year before my father passed, we had a catch in the backyard.
God bless.
One thing that I wanted to do, and I said, "Hey, Dad, let's go have a catch."
Oh man.
So yeah, great experience.
Right, bro.
Now, your house. Let's tell a story about your house in West Orange.
Yeah, in 1967, my mom and dad, we moved from one part of West Orange to another, and being the type of, I used to read credits on albums. I have a feeling you did that too. I was like, who produced what, who engineered it, where it was recorded, copyright year, and just who they give thanks to. I was just that guy. I loved liner notes. And so I knew when my mom and dad said, we're moving to the Songwriter's house, Carole King and Jerry Goffin, I was like, what? And in 1967, that's when Pleasant Valley Sunday by the Monkees landed on the airwaves. And there we were. We moved to this house owned by Carole King and Jerry Goffin. And that song was written in that house, and it was a song about suburbia, how they didn't like suburbia. It's a juxtaposition of the sunshiny, another pleasant, with the lyrics, creature comfort goals, they only numb my soul. They make it hard for me to see. It was a beautiful yin-yang of what they really thought of suburbia. Don Kirshner, their manager, thought it'd be a good idea to move them from Brooklyn to there. And they didn't like it, but yet it spawned such great stuff. And it also spawned the genesis of Tapestry for Carole. And when we moved in there, they were divorcing. We'd walk in Jerry Goffin, there'd be another woman there, and another day Carole King would be there all by herself, and or doorbell rang, will you still love me tomorrow? That's how it played, that melody. And I went back years later, only 10 years ago, and it was still there. I said, hi, I used to live here, and you bought the house from us. And she's like, oh, come on in. I was like, oh, are you kidding me? You know how it is. You go back, and it's like you see all the rooms you grew up in. And my bedroom was where Carole King wrote most of her songs. It's called the Red Room. It had deep plush red carpet, and it had red spotlights, 67. It was just so mod and beautifully retro.
Right.
Yeah, anyway.
I'll tell you a cute story. You mentioned Don Kirshner.
Yeah.
He and I shared the same attorney for a while. So one day I go into the office, and the attorney says, I want you to meet somebody. So there, sitting there, is Don Kirshner.
Really?
And, of course, he put together the Monkees. He also told me the story about putting the band Kansas together as a test tube band. So he told the whole story about the Monkees and everything, and he knew that I had been involved in baseball. And he tells me the story that he played baseball on the same high school team as Sandy Koufax.
No way.
Yeah.
Really?
And he was drafted by the Dodgers. Now, sometimes you can't catch up on people's stories, But
Yeah.
he said he played minor league ball for the Dodgers. Back then it was the Brooklyn Dodgers. And, we started talking more about baseball than about music. And
Wow.
it was kind of an interesting situation, meeting Don
Wow.
Kirshner and talking baseball, as
Yeah.
opposed to talking about music. And,
Yeah.
everybody knows him as music. And especially, used to see the Don Kirshner rock concerts on TV.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
I never knew that. Wow. That's an interesting
yeah,
tidbit.
he played with a couple other people too that he mentioned that were, pretty famous.
Really?
Sandy Koufax, of course, being
Yeah.
in Brooklyn. I forgot the name of the high school, but yeah, he told me about how he got drafted and signed with the Dodgers, et cetera, et cetera. So we were talking more baseball than music.
Wow.
So you played in Little League, and did you play in
I
high
did.
school?
No, I didn't play in high school. I was too into music then, of course, but yeah, but I played sports all through, I mean, not in school after I was, when I was a child I did, but yeah, I mean, I was always out. You know how it is when you're a kid, you don't care if there's a blizzard outside or whatever,
Right.
you're out there. You love sports, you're just out there. And I've always been a sports geek. I'm a long-suffering New York Knicks fan, but I'm one, back then, like, I collected baseball cards too. So players transcended your team. Like, come on, everybody wanted a Willie Mays card, even Willie McCovey. It's just like, and I don't know. Is it the same way with like the Mike Trouts and stuff like that? I mean, everybody recognizes their amazing talents, but back then it was just, I don't know, man. The Roberto Clemente, come on. Oh my gosh, these guys.
He was on TV the other night. They had the Pirates World Series game, and the announcer saying, "Here comes Roberto Clemente."
No, I mean, I'm on MLB Network all the time.
Oh yeah, sure, right.
It's just, it takes you back, and you hear all the old great announcers, and again, even I don't care if it's not the Yankees. I mean, they're my team, but I just love baseball. I mean, and anybody that doesn't get it, they say it's boring. I'm like, okay, it's like saying you don't like the Beatles or like my mom or something. It's like, all right, all right.
So is chess too. If you're watching it,
yeah,
chess is boring, but I mean, people will compare baseball to chess. It's
sure.
It's a mental game, that's for sure. Or
it is.
What did Yogi say? 90% of it's half mental.
That's mental, yeah. And of course, what we're going through now with baseball, both sides, like, just
they got to get together somehow.
Golly, I know. Oh my gosh.
So you got it from your father, then, right?
I did. I got it from my dad, and you've graciously played my song called "Game Day," which I came out with about 8 years ago. And Bobby Bandiera's playing guitar on it, and I have kids singing on it. It kind of goes beyond a kid's song, as you know. It crosses that line. It's my tribute, and in the middle, I go into like a Santana thing as a tribute to all the amazing Latino players on it. And you can see the lyric video I made. I have all these pictures of, players from, I guess, 7-8 years ago, as a tribute to them. And, Bobby puts on that. Yeah, Carlos, oh my gosh, it's great.
I was lucky enough to play on a team that was, we played over 30 leagues and over 40 leagues. And half the guys were Latinos. And, it was kind of a, different kind of situation when you're playing with guys that sometimes don't speak great English. Yeah. But there were some really fun times, especially we went to Florida one time to play in a tournament. And we're riding in a car just trying to get to a field. And the guy says, well, stop. So we stopped the car, and here he is. He goes over to the side of the road and starts climbing a tree, and he brings down these mangoes.
Oh my!
I've never seen anybody, go get a mango. And here he is. He's eating a mango like it was an apple. And then one day they go to Miami because they were going to visit some relatives, and he bring back the ham croquettes. And it was such a fun time. In fact,
wow!
One of my roommates was a Latin player that an amazing guy. Yeah. But anyway, it was kind of an interesting situation when you're talking, and half the time they're talking Spanish to each other, and you don't know what they're saying. But
Yeah, no,
it's great.
there's nothing like you're walking out, the tunnel, and that green field, it's amazing. And I've had the honor for the past, 16 years. I play Major League Baseball's Howlett Family Party. At
Okay, great.
the office is in Park Avenue, which have since last year they've moved to, I think, 6th Avenue. But it's like a mini baseball Hall of Fame. There are things in there that you can't see in the Hall of Fame, and it's all administrative. It's not like players and stuff, but it's still, the walls are very hallowed.
Sure,
And
sure.
it's a great gig. It's a great gig. I get to talk about people that make all the rules and stuff, and their children are there, and that's a fun gig. Yeah.
So as a Yankee fan, who was your favorite player?
I mean, I gotta say Jeter. I know it's cliche now, but yeah, I gotta say. I mean, you mean of all time or right now?
Well, he's on right now, so yeah, all time. You go.
Yeah, man. No, I got to go with Derek. I just like the way he carries himself as well off the field. That means a lot to me. For these players that say they're not role models, sorry, you are. You are. I just, and I know that when they're young, it's not like they're working out and trying to get a gig and saying, someday I realize I'm going to be a role model, but it just comes with the territory, because the kids are in the stands watching on TV, although not as many as we would like these days. That's why they're trying to get the game to move along a little quicker, aren't they?
I don't know if that's going to work.
I know.
No matter if it's 2 hours and 35 minutes or 3 hours.
I know. I hear you, bro.
In fact, I used to work at a music store. One of the teachers there, the piano teachers, he was related, I guess it was a great uncle or something like that. The guy's name was Slim Sally, Sallee. And he holds the record for the shortest game ever of like 61 minutes.
What?
Yeah. A 9-inning game he pitched, and it went like about 61 minutes. I got to look it up in the record books to get that. But it was great to hear him talking about, his relative who holds this record. And the guy didn't strike out many people. Everybody was just hitting ground balls or fly balls. Nobody could really, take him downtown. And I don't know if it was in the dead ball era or what, but it was great to hear him talking about, his relative. So, I mean, whether the game runs 2 hours and 30 minutes or 3 hours, I don't think that really makes much of a difference. Yeah. If you're there in person and you really want to see everything, I remember seeing a doubleheader once when I was really young, and I guess it was Yankee Stadium. The Yankees were playing Washington, the Washington Senators.
Yeah.
So we were allowed to come from where our seats were way upstairs and go down, because there was hardly anybody there watching the Senators back then. But we got to be about 5 rows behind home plate and got about 20 feet from Ted Williams, because he was managing the Senators at the time. So that's, a thing. Whether there's 50,000 people or 100 people in the stands, it's still, to me, a thrill to be there.
Oh yeah. My girlfriend's Vietnamese. Okay. And so I didn't realize, we're going for about a year now, over a year. And some of the things that come out of me, you don't realize how all-encompassing baseball phrases permeate.
Yeah, sure.
Like, help me out. What are some, of course, now I can't think of any.
So when you think about yogiisms, I mean, those things are unbelievable. It ain't over till it's over.
But what about that song that hits it out of the park? You know what I mean? And I'll say, she goes, what do you mean by that? I said, it's a baseball term, babe. And I'll say it means getting a home run. And, it's like, so it's incredible. I mean, more than any other sport, Lee. Absolutely. I'm not kidding.
Sure.
If you ever made a Google search of that, there's just so many. Of course, I can't think of any except the park.
I do a radio show. Every once in a while, I'll take 2 songs by an artist, and that's a double play.
There you go.
So it's
that's right.
and there's so many things that we don't really think twice about. And somebody that's not of our culture would
Yeah.
probably have some questions about what the heck are you saying?
Yeah, exactly right.
Have you ever met anybody famous?
Yeah, I know. I was at how did I get there? I was at this party, an all-star party, and I got to meet Jorge Posada and Brian Cashman and Tino Martinez. Got to hang with them a while. That was really cool. But I have to say, a friend of mine lost a friend due to the coronavirus. Anthony Causey, you know him?
Yeah.
He was the photographer.
Sure. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. So one of my dearest friends, two of them, the married couple, Cherie and Keith Gollum, she went to high school in Brooklyn with Anthony.
Oh, yeah, I know them. Sure.
Yeah, you know, he was just 48 years old, and they erected billboards on the turnpike of him.
Sure,
Gorgeous black and white shots, and he was one of the official photographers of Yankee Stadium, and they gave him a beautiful tribute on MLB.com. He left two children, like under 5 or 7 years old, along with a beautiful wife. Anthony Causey, yeah, just recently. So we weren't friends, but you know, we messaged each other about it. So that was really sad. Yeah, I'm trying to think anyone else in baseball. No, not really. Oh, Bernie Williams. Yeah, Bernie Williams. Yeah, I know. I'm boring with all these. So wait, are you from Chicago originally?
No. I got to work with the Cubs, strange as it may seem, in a roundabout way. When the Stone Pony closed, I decided I was going to head on into another, venture. I wanted to stay out of the music business, so I kind of cultivated my career in baseball. And I was coaching a collegiate summer league team at Fort Monmouth in Eatontown. And it was the Atlantic Collegiate Baseball League, kind of like the Cape Cod League that you hear about.
Yeah.
But not many people come, but it's really for scouts more than anything else. So originally, scouts for the Cincinnati Reds had asked me to come to pitch some batting practice and stuff. So I did some work with them. And then the guys that would always come to the games from the Cubs had asked me to help them out with a tryout as well, too. And I've told this story once before, and it's kind of funny. But at the same time, I was working at the Pony. And what happened was this. The guys were doing the tryout, and we get finished with the tryout, and it's kind of, I guess, traditional to go out to eat afterwards, et cetera. So they said, why don't you come to have lunch with us? I said, I got to go to, back to work. I've got to print some T-shirts for the club and work at night, et cetera. So I'll take a rain check. So the guy said, well, why don't you come have lunch with us? I wasn't getting the hint. So this is 1992. So
Okay.
what actually we still had the Stone Pony Annex open, even though the club wasn't open, and I was still, working there and selling T-shirts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So after they said 3 times, why don't you go have lunch with us? They kind of said, maybe you should have lunch with us. And I finally got the hint. And then they said, well, we're looking to have somebody, like yourself to cover, help out in New Jersey, with scouting. So, here I am 28 years later.
I don't think I ever knew that.
Not many people did. And I kind of kept it a secret, although sometimes I would actually work at the Pony after coaching a baseball or playing a baseball game and come in full uniform.
Wow.
So people would think that I was kind of strange. Well, they also thought Jack Scarangelo was strange in playing drums with a full Yankee uniform sometimes.
Oh, yeah. Huge fan.
That guy's got some great stories.
Oh, my gosh. Did you have him on?
Not yet, but soon.
Yeah.
Hopefully. Yeah. He's kind of shy about some of that stuff, but he's working on a book. But there was one time, just to bring Jack in again, I've told this once before too, but it's kind of a cute story.
Right.
We went to Yankee Stadium, and the people in the scouting department had given us some great seats behind home plate in the family section. So I told the usherette, I said, you know, do you know a guy named Jack Scarangella? And she says, oh, everybody knows Jack. He says, well, if you see him today, tell him I'm up here, and we're old friends, and I like to talk to him. So about third inning or so, he comes up, and he's got a jacket on, an NBC sports jacket. You know, NBC was huge in baseball for a long period of time. So after talking about 10 minutes or so, I said, Jack, I got to ask you about the jacket because it has the name Willie on it.
Yeah.
He says, oh, well, Willie was doing an interview with NBC, and they give him this jacket, and he comes over to me and says, Jack, why don't you take this? I got hundreds of them. Willie Mays.
Oh, my God.
So when Jack drops a name, you know he knows him.
Wow. Yeah.
You know, he was Ron Guidry's drum teacher for a long time.
Yes, I think I knew that. Yeah.
And they would set up drums underneath Yankee Stadium in a storage room, and Gator would go and play drums before he'd go out to the bullpen.
Amazing.
And then the drums got passed on to other people.
Yeah.
Got passed on to Paul O'Neill, and Paul was on Jack's album along with Bernie Williams and a whole bunch of other guys. In fact, he was the guy, he had Phil Rizzuto do something before Phil died.
Wow.
And it's just like with Meatloaf.
Yeah.
Well, anyway.
Oh, wait. So Meatloaf, yeah, come to think of it, like, David Wells and Meatloaf were good friends.
Oh, yeah, right.
David Wells came to a gig, could have been the Beacon Theater, and he brought everybody in the band a signed ball, May 17th, 1998. His perfect game.
Oh, my goodness, right, yeah. That was
Gave
on
everybody
TV recently.
I know the date. He gave it, and a signed shirt. Everybody in the band, there was like 8 of us. So gracious.
Folks, we have run out of time. Our thanks to Ray Andersen for spending some time with us today. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you all next week.